let's hope I never have to start this collection over from scratch. 1,000+ bottles, that would be a disaster and a nightmare. But if I did have to do that, I would probably get things kicked off with Hugo Boss Bottled Oud. I love having this stuff around, and especially in fall. It's my favorite time of year to wear this one because of the apple, cinnamon, and of course oud combination. For whatever reason, apple and cinnamon reminds me of fall. Maybe that's because it's kind of the general smells that you get in like fall candles and typical fall scents. And one thing I always remember was those cinnamon smelling brooms that you would put in your house and you could smell it and it smelled like cinnamon. So those notes always go together really well and remind me of that time of year. And so as soon as, end of summer starts coming around, I'm thinking of Boss Bottled Oud. And I will wear this one into wintertime as well, although I think it's better suited for the more mild fall temperatures. When it starts getting brutally cold, this is not something that I typically go for as much. And like I said before, this is one of the closest things you can get, believe it or not, to the Boss Bottled Intense, which is discontinued and has been for some time. Of course, there's the original Boss bottle, Boss number 6, whatever, but the Intense is a bit heavier, richer, stronger, and so is this one. The only difference is going to be you're getting a little bit of oud from here, but it's nothing that is too powerful. It's a very wearable, designer level, entry level oud scent. And for me, one of my favorite times of year to wear scents is summertime, and that's because I love my summer fragrances. I like something that's very refreshing, very bright, very uplifting, something that reminds me of vacation. So even when I'm not on vacation, but the weather is nice and I start feeling like I'm missing out, I'll put on a scent that just kind of reminds me of that, and it's almost like I just transport back to that certain time whenever I smell a certain few select summer scents. And this is one of them. It's Bulgari Aquamarine, and so if I was starting over, I would be grabbing a bottle of this pretty soon. I would also be getting Aqua Atlantique. That one is, getting hard to find and whatever. And, again, realistically, I've got so many backup bottles of that alone to where never will I have to hunt for it again. But if everything was wiped out and I was starting from scratch, I would go out there and I would overpay for it. That's me personally. I'm not saying that you guys should go out and overpay for that. You shouldn't, but I would. That's because I love it so much. Aquamarine is one you don't have to overpay for. You can get this one on your favorite discounter for, I don't know, can't really remember what it's going for at this time, $60, $70 maybe. Prices have gone up a little bit on this one over the years. Not sure why. The original Aquamarine is also great. These are true aquatic scents, especially the original. The Marine's a bit toned down, but these are the real deal, and they're not for everybody. So be selective with what you go with here because, you might be better off going for something like a Nautica Voyage or Acqua di Gio Profondo or something a bit more tame, because these are just, I don't know, they're a lot more realistic. They're true aquatics. It's not to say that something like Profondo isn't, it's just a different style. Some people say that these are just a bit too seaweed smelling. So I like that personally, but not everybody does. And kind of sticking with that summer trend, we have Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Italian Love. A lot of bergamot, grapefruit, ozonic notes, violet leaf in here. And another one that's at this moment a little bit hard to find. The deal essentially is that this was a limited edition. So unfortunately, that's how it is. This and Forever will forever hold a spot in my collection, but also just in my head, like scent memory. I will always have a special spot for this DNA. So again, theoretically, if everything was wiped out and I was starting from scratch, this would be yet another one where I would go out there and I would overpay for it. Same with Forever. I would probably pick up both and then be on the hunt for backup bottles to start rebuilding, And again, not saying everybody should go out and overpay. It's just me personally. When a scent is that important to you and you start thinking of these extreme examples and you come to the conclusion that you would overpay for it to get it back in your collection again because it means that much to you, that's how you know what the real deal is for you and your collection. And for me, this is one of those. And it's the same reason why a lot of people enjoy hunting for discontinued scents and stuff like that, right? It's something that you smell when you're a kid, or you wear it when you're younger and they discontinue it and you get older and you want to get that scent back. You know, for a lot of people, it's fun to hunt those down and collect them and everything like that. And for me, when it comes to unique summer scents from a designer brand, the Italian Love / Light Blue Forever scents are at the top of the list for me. I mean, there's really nothing else out there like these two. And I'm bringing up both because they kind of go hand in hand. Italian Love is using a bit more bergamot to balance out that overwhelming grapefruit. That's really the only difference. And so for a lot of people, this one might be a bit easier to wear. For me, it's just the one I happen to choose for this video. Kind of going back to the theme of winter, we have Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Extreme. Now this one has tobacco, plum, and of course the signature almond note, which is used in the entire line. I don't think there's a single L'Homme Ideal scent that doesn't have almond. That's kind of their thing. Kind of like Hugo Boss, the scent has maninka fruit. These have almond. So definitely something that makes them stand out. It's nowhere near as common of a note as like Tonka bean or some other kind of dusty, powdery notes. And so that alone makes these stand out. But with this one, that cherry, or I'm sorry, not the cherry, that's in the EDP, the plum and the tobacco combo is something I've never encountered before. I can't remember off the top of my head if there's any other fragrances out there that is utilizing those two notes together, but it works really well. And so it's a sweet fruitiness with a smoky tobacco and then a rich kind of powdery almond accord underneath. This smells great. It has a premium and classy smell to it, something great for dressed up if you want to be taken seriously. You're looking at around $100 for this on discounters. It's stabilized and it's in stock pretty much all the time now, so this is one you can get easily. There was a point for probably the better part of a few years where it was always sold out. That's not the case anymore, so if you want to get a bottle, you can do so now. This next one has kind of been rumored to have been discontinued, but it's still around and kind of gone back and forth, and it's completely shocking to me that this one is still around. It is Prada Luna Rossa Black. I feel like this stuff is hanging on by a thread. When you look at all of the money-motivated designer brands, which is all of them, you know, they are quick to cut something off if it's not performing well in terms of sales volume. I mean, just look at some of the scents that they've discontinued that apparently weren't doing well, but we thought they were doing well, and we're like, why would they discontinue that? This one's the opposite, where it's like, this scent has been done twice before, both times it was discontinued, and this one is still hanging on, and I don't know how. And so, to reference back to that, this smells kind of similar to Bulgari Black, which is like a little hockey puck shaped bottle, and also Midnight in Paris, which has a really cool bottle. At one point, that was a cheapie, like a $35, $40 scent. Really cool stuff. Both of them have this tonka bean forward, very powdery smell as a whole. And again, both of those have been discontinued for some time now. And so, you know, this is very similar, you know, following in a similar blueprint to those scents. It is not a masculine scent that you might be used to. It's really very powdery, and it's not for everybody. For me, I like it. It's a great way to change it up. I love wearing it, and it smells great. So this is one where I would definitely, you know, get back into my collection as soon as I could. On discounters, usually you can get it for, I don't know, $110, $120. I would also have to get Armani Code Absolu back in my collection, another discontinued one that I would go out there for and just overpay. I mean, I would just do it, and it would hurt, but at least I would have it back. I'm also giving away a bottle of this and 14 other fragrances right now, or $500 in cash. You can hit the first link down below and see how to get entered there. I think we're at around 19, maybe 18 days left to get entered, and then there's going to be 2 drawings, so 2 winners, or at least 2 chances to win. There's a chance one winner could take home both prizes, but first drawing will be for that bundle, including this, Mancera Tonka Cola, Dior Sauvage Parfum, Rokas Mustache EDP, and a whole bunch more, or you'll get that $500 cash. So make sure you get entered down below, and best of luck to you. Next up, we have Azzaro, the Most Wanted Parfum. I would get this, and I would get Wanted by Night. I would probably, honestly, go for this one first. Maybe that's surprising, maybe it's not. Probably get them both at the same time, let's be real. But this one would probably come to mind first. I've been enjoying this one so much lately, and it's not that I don't like Want to By Night anymore. It's still at the top, but this one has just been, it's newer, it's a bit more exciting to me because it's something I haven't worn as much as Want to By Night, and so it's one I'd be picking up as soon as I could, you know, especially in wintertime. I love to wear this one. It has a very unique kind of fizzy, bubbly opening going into a bourbon vanilla and woody dry down. It smells really, really nice, and it's a nice twist on that Azzaro Wanted DNA. Got to go for some iris, and I would probably get Valentino Uomo Intense back in there pretty quick. And you know, again, when making a video like this and I'm saying all of these out loud, in my head I'm also going, well, I would have to get Dior Intense. I would definitely need Dior Parfum. It's getting expensive already. DHP is, you know, close to $200. DHI is up over $100. This is up over $100. That's you know, $300+ an iris at that time. Or actually, no, I'd be a little over $400. And by the time you factor in tax and all that stuff, it's a lot of money in iris scents that I'd be feeling like I needed to get all at once. So where would I start? Which would be the first one that I would get? I don't know. It depends on what mood I was in. At the time of me recording this video and putting myself in those shoes, I would probably get VUI first. I love the leather in this one. The leather, the vanilla, the iris, it smells great. And again, the leather just is a unique twist on this DNA. Great for wintertime. You're probably surprised to see that there hasn't been any niche included yet. And yeah, that's true. I have one coming up next here, but it's designer priced. And it is Mancera Intense Cedrat Boisé. So I would have to have a bottle of this around. And like I've said before, the Intense is it. No longer will I mess around with the EDP. Now, because I have a few bottles of the EDP, from time to time I will wear it. But if there was ever a point where I ran out of it, I wouldn't rebuy it again. This is one of those flankers that has just made a massive improvement over the original to the point that it's now obsolete. And so kind of to touch on that real quick, in my opinion, if you have the EDP, to me the Intense is good enough to where it's worth an upgrade. Wear through this one, you're going to love it immediately. And then you might never want to go back to your EDP. Maybe finish that bottle up first and jump over to this. But if you're someone who has the Intense, this is where you start off with. There's no reason to go buy the EDP unless you are a completionist. But for a lot of you, I would say get this one and be done with it. And last up for this video, I would have to get one of my favorite evening after shower comfort scents. This is what I use this stuff for primarily at this point. It's one of my favorite scents to wear in the evening. You know, come home, take a shower, just relax, eat dinner, all that stuff, and get ready for bed. Generally, you know, after I get out of the shower, this is what I'll spray on. You know, because in the evening when you're getting ready to go to bed, you might not want to select something like Red Tobacco or Eros where you're trying to relax and sleep and you have a super strong scent. You want something that's softer or it doesn't have a ton of longevity and that will pretty much be gone in the morning, so you don't have to wash it off. You could just spray on whatever scent you have in the morning and, you know, you're good. There's not going to be overlap. It would be Dolce & Gabbana The One EDP. It's my go-to night out scent, my go-to night in scent, which is far more common than going out. So, you know, one of the best date night evening scents ever created. This and La Nuit de l'Homme. So you best believe La Nuit would also be one I'd be picking up, but I would also make sure to get this one as well. Like I've shown this before, this bottle is looking rough, but I've worn the heck out of it and I have more. I don't wear this one anymore just because I like keeping that little sliver just as a reminder of how much I like it. And this is my original bottle, but rest assured I've got plenty of others. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. Some fragrances I would buy first if I was rebuilding this monstrosity of a collection from scratch. I'll link all these down below. If you want to get notified of any rare, discontinued, hard to find fragrances like this Armani Code Absolu coming into stock along with many more, jump on my mailing list, texting list at the link and number down below. It's free to sign up there and you get notified of anything good coming up. That's actually where I bought my bottle of Armani Code Absolu to give away here in this giveaway that I'm running. You can sign up for it, the link down below. Armani Code Absolu and 14 other cents or $500 in cash. And so I used my own resources to buy that so that I can include it in that sweepstakes. And so, yeah, it comes in handy. Alrighty, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.